Here's President Trump with the president of South Africa showing him videos of his government calling for the killings of white farmers. And if you're a body language expert, you might think the South African president looks a little uncomfortable. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we call out lies, hypocrisy, and corruption to help spread the light of truth and freedom, because truth conquers. So, if you haven't heard, really tragic stuff happens in South Africa as of late. Government leaders are calling for, the end of white people. Racial tensions there are horrible, and the government is encouraging it. There's been many white farmers who have been killed, as well, the government calls them to. We'll see that footage. Now, President Trump did something that many are saying is the greatest move in presidential history. Not surprisingly, the mainstream media is spinning it, calling this, Trump's propagating a conspiracy theory. He's trying to end a genocide. What genocide? It's not happening. Cut to footage of the leaders calling for it. So nonetheless, the president of South Africa was in the White House there to beg for money, beg for aid. And Trump and him were having a conversation. And then President Trump wheeled in a TV that shows not just a little clip, but 5 freaking minutes of this guy's government in South Africa calling for the offing of white people. It's just, if you could bring the receipts, you couldn't bring more receipts than this. And you watch the South African president, he is so uncomfortable because he is there denying, no, that's not happening. Big misunderstanding. And then President Trump in the room brings a TV in and makes the guy just sit there and watch the proof of it, including showing all these crosses that are set up as a memorial for all the white farmers that have been killed. It has to be one of the greatest boss moves in a positive direction in presidential history. Before we get into Trump bringing in the TV, I'll show you some of the clips that Trump was showing on the TV to the South African president and his little cabinet. Let's take a look.
Must never be scared to kill.
Yeah.
A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
CNN spin The View, and we'll see how CNN and The View spun this. But how do you spin that? Well, he didn't mean what he said. It's a very literal statement.
Shoot to kill. Yamaza.
Yeah.
Kill the poor.
Now, translated, gun sign, what he's saying is, kill the whites. Now, this guy, by the way, I'll just bring the volume down. This guy, he brings this dance number on the road, and it's a beautiful dance, as you can tell, compelling. It's just got this rhythm to it. It's a beautiful song, psychotic look in his eyes. Here he is on a different occasion. Obviously, you see tens of thousands of people that he is just screaming, kill the whites at. And it's a great dance number. Very creative.
The mayor of DA in PE is a white man.
Uh-oh.
So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man.
Go after a white man. All right. What's that mean? Oh, it means we're really inclusive down here. I think President Trump's an idiot. I'm here to beg for money. He's asking me about the mass killings of whites down here. It's like, yeah, we're really inclusive. That's why we're talking about kill the whites. And, it's, go after the white person. It means we love everybody the same.
Feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man.
Loving message.
Not because Mashaba and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched. Don't worry.
Now, this is horrible racism. If you're a strong liberal, you'd be like, dude, that is not wanting to kill white people because they're white. That's not racism, because the guy saying it's black. Yeah. I love it. He brings this dance number on the road everywhere. This is like the Cirque du Soleil of South Africa.
The farmer.
Kill the farmer. with gun sign, gun sounds. Of course, we're not calling for killing. No, now a whole stadium. And then keeping in mind what you just saw in this as well is footage that President Trump was making the president of South Africa watch in his presence. All those crosses you see there, just lining both sides of the road, are set up there to honor the lives of white farmers that were killed. And South Africa wants to kill the white farmers. Government does, because it wants to take their land with no compensation. If you try to defend your land, your life is going to be wasted. And it might just be wasted as the knock on the door. Hey, we're here to take your land. We don't really want any fuss, so we're just going to get rid of you. No questions asked. Now, as we see President Trump with this scumbag president who's calling for killings and denying it because he's here to beg for money from President Trump. And President Trump's like, well, I kind of got a different agenda. I don't like people dying. You know, the conversation they were talking about, you know, what's going on in the South African press. No. That's not what's going on. No, big misunderstanding. Didn't know Trump was going to make him watch the receipts. So it's just a friendly exchange. Take a question from a reporter. We'll see the answer. And then we'll see the greatest boss move in presidential history happen. Take a look.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for President. It's,
Trump's face.
No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that.
And actually, that is a good thing that this guy interrupted President Trump. Yeah, I'll answer that. It set him up to be shown as a pure lying demon with what Trump does next.
The President will respond to you.
Yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, we have thousands of stories talking about it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that, is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things. And
He's about to be shown.
It has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do, with or without
now
you.
that footage is
People
playing.
are going to occupy land.
Listening to these guys calling for the killings of whites. Just watch the South African president. You don't actually have to be a body language expert to see he is incredibly uncomfortable.
Require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are.
And right now, you know, you can see he's rubbing the chair. You start moving your hands when you're uncomfortable. And he's probably thinking, man, this is gonna be a really uncomfortable few seconds that I have to watch this, which is just shining the light on I'm a lying genocidal maniac. The good news is Trump holds him in it for 5 minutes. And this guy, his soul just leaves his body, if it was even in there for the first place. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first I want to tell you about some cutting edge tech that I've been using for peak performance, the Wavewatch. The Wavewatch uses advanced sound frequencies to support recovery, energy, sleep, and overall well-being without drugs or chemicals. I consider my Wavewatch a weapon for total wellness, and whether you are pushing heavy weights or crushing daily life, the Wavewatch is a tool for total health and performance. I'm always looking to up-level how I feel and function both physically and mentally. So when new technology comes online, it's got my attention, especially technology I can use that doesn't take any extra time of mine. I put my Wavewatch on in the morning and I completely customize it to meet my needs. I set it to go from brain support to cognitive wellness to stress relief to mental clarity, which helps me throughout my day. A few days ago, I actually had an extremely stressful first part of the day, so I set my Wavewatch on stress relief and kept it there. This was a stress load that normally would have had me going to bed just feeling angry and heavy. But after just about an hour of stress relief support, I noticed this thing is feeling a lot lighter than it otherwise would, which helped hand me my mind and my optimism back for the rest of the day. Wavewatch is trusted by elite performers who value alternative wellness. Top athletes, biohackers, and health-conscious people are turning to sound frequencies. Don't get left behind. Take advantage of this cutting-edge tech by getting your Wavewatch at the link in the description below, or go to buy.wavewatch.com/JPReacts. And while you're there, use the discount code JPReacts to get $100 off your Wavewatch. Enjoy. Now back to the video. This uncomfortable smile looking at Trump. Oh, this is funny. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Oh, searching the room with his eyes. Oh, gotta move that hand. This is uncomfy. Oh, look at his face. A little worried, a little nervous laugh. Yeah, this guy's calling for the killing of whites. It's kind of funny. He's gonna stop this soon, right? He's not stopping it. The video's, it's still playing. Oh yeah, just check. Yeah, it's still on. Okay. Yep. Ah, touching the face. That's a good body language sign right there. Okay. Not even a fake smile anymore. Can't muster that up. Eyes darting around. And now he's probably getting Bill Clinton like in his head. You know, it was like, oh, I didn't know the definition of sexual relations. He's like, oh, you meant killing whites? Yeah, that. I didn't know that meant killing whites. I thought it was a different definition. I didn't have killing whites relations. You killed him though, right? Yeah, well, yeah. It wasn't relations though. And this just goes on. Now, it is a masterful 5 minutes to watch. Just fast forwarding to the end where the footage of all the crosses of the life taken away white farmers are set up on the side of the road. The footage you've seen. Here's President Trump saying words as that's being shown.
Now, this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers. And those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross. And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. Terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President?
Yeah, South Africa.
I'd like to know where that is.
I'd like to know. Dude, I love that. That's such a... Have they told you where that is? I'd like to know where that is. Yeah, because I want to do something. Like, it's in South Africa.
This I've never seen.
I've never seen. It's like Hillary Clinton's like, oh, that body. Look, I've never seen that. Yeah, I'd like to help get to the bottom of that. Wow, this is new information to me. Whoa.
Okay. I mean, it's in South Africa. That's where.
You just, well, it's in South Africa. That's where it's at.
We need to find out.
I need to find out. Look how uncomfortable he is right now. This is masterful how President Trump set this up. Other world leaders, yeah, we know what's going on, but whatever. We don't want to harm our relations with South Africa, so we're going to be polite. And yeah, we understand there's a lot of misinformation going on, misunderstandings really about, all these white farmers dying. I mean, it does, COVID's really going around. So President, South African guy, like, we're really sorry this is happening to you. You're getting all this unfair accusation. So we're just here to, be cordial. Nope, not President Trump. It's like, this is your poop of that body's on the floor. I'm going to hold your face in it. So good. For something so bad happening, that is so good. Now, if you remember, Elon is from South Africa. He happens to be a white guy. Many people would say, well, the killings of white farmers in South Africa, it's bad. Not because they're white, but because they're people. And I would guess Elon has some connections to some of these people that have been offed. And even if he doesn't, he probably cares. So here he was during a recent interview with a hostile lady where he was saying, I can't even operate Starlink in South Africa. They won't give me a license because I'm white. And then we'll take a look at footage of Elon in that very room with President Trump and the South African president.
Not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Meanwhile, the reporter interrupts him because, weirdly, all mainstream reporters are trying to cover up this reality that President Trump just forced the president of South Africa to watch with him. So here's a picture of Elon in the White House, standing behind the couch on the side of President Trump, giving a bit of a angry stare at the South African president. And here you can see a little video. Elon doesn't look happy with him. It's almost like Elon takes it a little personally. Not a fan of the killings. But none of this would be complete without the mainstream media who promotes racial tensions in our country, almost like they want the same thing to happen here, covering it up, denying that this is happening. By the way, if you remember what the Nazis did in the 1930s, 40s, there was a lot of denial that was happening. Take a look at pro-genocidal Whoopi Goldberg.
So, South African President Ramaphosa paid a visit to the White House yesterday, which turned into...
He's got away with words.
a surprise presentation on conspiracy theories of a white genocide in his country. Take a look.
Man, Whoopi's really convincing. Like her modus operandi is I'm supposed to tell people that's not happening. Cool. I'll get angry and ugly and yell at the camera. Does that make what I say sound true? No, it makes you look ugly, fat, and like a liar. And here's CNN's headline. Trump pushes unsubstantiated claims of white genocide during a contentious meeting with South African president. And the only common sense person who's ever allowed on CNN, Scott Jennings, was there. He weighs in to the people who are trying to cover this up so it can continue. Let's take a look.
Whether you call it a genocide or not, the facts are white farmers in South Africa have been murdered. A lot of people have tried to cover this up. A lot of people in, I think, media in the United States have tried to cover it up.
No, well, Whoopi definitely was. And the headline that started on CNN's screen was trying to cover it up.
Obviously, the South African government doesn't want to talk about it, so it was kind of a boss move for Donald Trump to roll that television in there today. And I think even the agriculture minister in the Oval Office confirmed that these people are, in fact, being murdered. So my question is, if it's not a genocide today, how many do we want to let get murdered so that people around here can be satisfied? Okay, now it's a genocide. Let's let a few more. I don't understand. We're talking about 50-something people they were trying to let in, and everybody's losing their mind after we let in 20 million illegal immigrants over the last several years. The president is trying to prevent genocide from happening any further to these people. They are clearly being discriminated against. Some have been murdered. This was an interesting spectacle in the Oval Office today, but it had to happen because I don't think anybody was telling the truth about it.
One of the greatest spectacles in the Oval Office that I have ever seen. You have a president of a country who's committing genocide, obviously lying about it. No leader who's ever done genocide has ever come forth like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. No, they always lie about it. And President Trump brings the receipts and watches the receipts in his presence for 5 long minutes. Greatest boss move. By the way, thoughts and prayers to everyone in South Africa, even praying for the people who are out there doing that little dance number on stage, calling for the killings. They need our prayers. Obviously, God doesn't motivate those people to perpetuate this call for killings. I think only the devil does. So they need our prayers as well. Along with the farmers, they need our prayers for protection. So let me know what you think in the comments below on President Trump's boss move with the scummy South African president. Look forward to hearing what you think about it, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. Till then, stay free.